People waiting. Run! Grab it! Run! Have a good night, everyone! We're gonna be doing a Bernie sweater. So I've been seeing a bunch of memes of the Bernie mittens from the inauguration day. The first thing that came to my mind when I saw that photo and I saw a close-up of the mittens was there is exactly a CARON cake colorway that has those exact same colors, and I had them in my stash for so long, and I knew that eventually I was going to be able to use it. So that's what we're doing today. Wha-bam, wha-bam, wha-bam. We got vanilla bean, big cake, vanilla bean, CARON cake. We have copper brown CARON 1-pounder, and I believe this is pecan something in the sprinkle cakes. Original release, not the new one. I technically already did the collar because I was going to do this in the round. Let me go ahead and relook at the photo, and I will bring you guys right back after I made the final decision if I want to make this in the round or not. Welcome back. So I have to find out, this might be the back part just because it's different color. Currently doing it in the round and half double crochet, and I was playing around. I was starting off with copper brown, I believe that's the colorway, and then I'm going to be using, what did I say this colorway was? I might pull from the center first because there's more white in there than on the outside. But more than anything, I will be using this as kind of like my little artist palette and pulling the colors as I need to. I was debating if I wanted to do single crochet and then alternate the colors, but after doing a couple test runs on my own in terms of how to alternate between two colorways and half double crochet, I think I'm going to stick with that. Couple notes. I am trying to increase it as much as I can right now. I'll probably end up stopping here. I can just continue going down without increasing in every row. And what that will do is when you're not increasing, you don't have to worry about the stitches that have 2 stitches in them where you're increasing, which means that when you're switching your colorways, it's not going to throw off your math at all. So I'd rather increase now as much as I can with this brown. Since I have my new knit kit here, I'll be able to tell how many stitches is in each row and not lose count, all of that jazz. So far so good. I'm really liking how the colorways play out, and it's not too different from this brown. And I think I decided that I'm going to do a large version. So I'm going to put up a photo here of Bernie's mittens. I'm going to do that whole decal once, very large here. It'll be large enough to be, it won't be too complicated because as the smaller the graphic is, in my opinion, the harder it's going to be to just like switch colors in and out. So I'd rather just do one big section of that, use the entire cake here, and then using the leftover of this will probably be for the sleeves, giving it a nice, since there is some wool in here, it should give the whole garment a nice little fuzzy texture to it on the sleeve, and then closing it off with the chocolate brown. So that's my thought process. Welcome back. So I am back from work and I have my new hair colors that I'm going to be dyeing my hair. I've got aquamarine blue and sunset orange. I think that's going to be a nice, really cool look for me, and I will do a video separate on that. But I wanted to bring you guys back for an update on the Bernie sweater. Check that out. That looks really good, doesn't it? Was playing around all last night with it as right before I was done studying for my LSATs. And I kind of like charted out a little bit of what I thought would be how it would actually look, just so I can count the amount of stitches that it's going to be needed. Alternating between 2 colorways and a half double crochet. And for half double crochet, that's actually not that bad. There was a little technique that I had to do to make sure that both the brown, so if you pay attention to the actual brown stitch here, you see how you get that little strand there and then you get the little strand there. There is a specific way of doing it because if you don't do that, it doesn't look cohesive in the sense that if you only leave the brown strand there, it looks weird when you break it apart. You really want to make sure you get both strands in there, and from far away, does that look like crosses to you guys? That looks pretty good from far away. So now I am in the part where you see those diagonal parts. That's where I am at now. However, what I noticed is that, so this is the cake I'm using right now. And executive decision, I think what I'm gonna do, at least for one of these sections, all the way until I get to like, cause I have the gray here, which was the inside part to get to the white. So I'm gonna separate the colorways in the middle, like one round only, just so I have enough, because actually this was one round of white, this whole thing. Okay, so looking at the Bernie image here that I have on my computer, going from white, so this is the brown cross, and then the white will be slowly like curving here to do a diamond. It looks like I need to use this beige, not the dark one, but the light beige to create a diamond effect. And then I have a choice to either use this chocolate brown again, which I probably will just for cohesive purpose. It looks like it does a dot in the middle, which is fairly easy. And then it's gonna go into the really, really dark to do like a little triangle. The white leftovers for a cross in the brown in the large part. And I only want to do this whole pattern once because it's a sweater. So that being said, I probably won't redo. I'll probably stop where the dark part is after the chocolate. I also want to see how big this is going to get before I actually have to start doing like the armholes and stuff like that. And I don't want to make this too big because this is how big the yoke is right now. So if I were to try it on, it reaches here. And I don't want to make the armholes too low because then, like I said, you won't be able to lift your arms. That actually looks pretty good. All right, excuse the yellow tinge of the lights. Just wanted to bring you in real quick. So this is what it's looking like now. And one thing that you have to keep in mind, or at least for me, is just keeping things nice and proportionate in the sense that, so if you notice here, you have one stitch here of brown, and to keep that even, you need 3 below it. So 2 on the edges of the brown, same thing here, 2 on the edges of the brown, 1 brown, and 3 to make it quote unquote even. Here we have to start doing diamonds. So you kind of have to visualize in the future how this is looking like. And notice here how it's only 1 stitch and then white. No. I'm not really liking that. It's not coming out as proportionate as I want to. So that being said, I'm going to undo these last 2 rows and I'm going to redo this in the sense that instead of 1 beige here, it's going to be 2, because then that way on the next row when it's 3, technically the 2 spaces in between have to be beige to keep it nice and even. Oh yeah, look at that. So much better. Sorry, I got red dust on my fingers. But notice the difference here. And actually, if I planned out a little bit better, I could probably have gotten that middle one right there to be beige. But that's totally fine. I think it gives it a nice little point. Not as a pointy look, but for future reference, now I know if I ever do this again, to go down a little, 1 more row of white. But check out that difference. Look at how it is coming along. Very, very cool. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm done with the whites. So the next row is going to be beige and the dark brown, which is going to be this one, this black. Right now we are on, where's my arrow? There's my arrow. We're doing this diamond part here with that beige and with the brown here in the middle. Oh, I got to do the brown. It's the dot. Okay, so the brown is the dot. And when I reverse engineer, I'm going to use the dark, which is this one here. Okay, cool. Got it. We good? We good? I did some quick measurements of this, but that's looking really, really nice on camera. However, I was measuring it and I am literally probably, I would say maybe a couple inches away from my desired body length in terms of when I close it up for the armholes and whatnot. That being said, I am going to be improvising on the spot and it'll make this look more like a diamond anyways if I do it this way. Hopefully. I'm going to be taking advantage of a couple rows. Now that I finished with the white, I'm going to be doing a couple rows of the beige and increasing 10 stitches, maybe more. Designer issues, but we'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed that I am able to fix this issue relatively easy. Oh my god, you guys. So I'm coming up on yarn chicken. So I have this much yarn left which you can see on camera, and I have this much to do. So fingers crossed, I have just enough to finish the row at least. And I might as well mention it now to those crocheters who are probably watching this. When I alternate my colors, what I actually do is the stitch right before I'm about to do it right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my last full stitch, and then I look at where I kind of want the other color to go, and I want that color to go in that second stitch. So when I complete this one, instead of doing yarn over to pull everything through, that is where I switch the color, because what that's going to do is it balances out this right side yarn to go with the left side yarn. Because if you don't do that, then what ends up happening is you just get only one part of this yarn sticking out of that color, and it just looks kind of wonky actually. And then when you finish the colorway, it doesn't really matter. You don't have to follow that same technique when you go back to the second color, because the idea is you just want both sides of that stitch to have that same colorway to show off how that's looking. Look at that. Ooh. And that is increasing. So once again, that extra row up here right before I actually do the brown is where I increased after every 11th stitch to get 15 extra stitches on the total yoke. And now if I did my calculations correct, and it does feel a lot bigger, a little bit bigger, I definitely should have enough now to, like, see, you can actually see I can close off the arms here, and it should be nice and tidy, nice and fitted for me personally. And what I just did now, I sectioned off my sleeves and everything like that, so I'm gonna actually do a little try on. Oh my god, this might be too tight. Oh no. You guys okay? Sorry. The yarn got caught in the phone. This is actually quite perfect. It's very tight because of the stitch markers, but the tension of yarn itself naturally will stretch slightly, and since I'm using an H hook, it will have that stretch in there. So I'm not too worried. This is actually a perfect fit because that is how much of the gap for the sleeves is. And this actually looks really, really cool because now I can actually focus on each of the individual arms individually. And the main pattern here, especially when it goes up in the armpit, will be like, it gives it a nice silhouette, especially when you have your arms down. It breaks the pattern apart. So I am actually very, very happy with this. I cannot believe that it's actually turning out really, really well. Yeah, this actually looks really, really cool, guys. I'm very, very happy with how this is coming out, and this collar is definitely matching with the rest of the garment. I was really worried that this yoke part where I increased would be too large, but this is actually, like, the design part is hitting my chest right at the right place in my opinion. Snaps, guys, snaps for a good job well done so far. It is about 1 in the morning almost, and so I'm gonna go ahead and just actually take a quick break from this because WandaVision is going to start in about an hour and a half, so I'm going to go ahead and take a shower, get nice and ready, maybe make a cup of tea or something. But for right now, for a couple days work, not bad. Not bad at all.